All right. Okay, so we are ready to start our open mic event. This is a new idea that we have at Research College Prep, which is trying to see the wonderful work that everyone is doing in our group. There's been a lot of interesting activity that's happening, whether for some of you individually in your courses in school and university or as outside projects, as well as projects that you've been doing in the context of our group, which I think are wonderful things that you're doing. And it would be a wonderful motivation for the rest of the group to see how the successes of existing members are happening so that they can follow the same steps. At the same time, it is a good opportunity for everyone to get feedback. For those of you who are presenting today, thank you for volunteering. And I hope that we'll be able to provide you with some feedback that could help you in the future steps of the work. So we have a few presenters today, and we're going to start with, let's see, so the first one who kind of like is in line here is Hisham. So yeah, Hisham, go ahead. If you have slides, feel free to share your screen. And yes, okay, so let's see, allow, okay, so it looks like they need to make some authentication here. All right, yeah, try it now and see if it works.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Hisham. Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Professor Faisal. So, hi, my name is Hisham Al-Khalaf. I'm a computing with AI University second year student in the UK. 6 months ago, I asked myself a question. Why is there a bottleneck in advancements? We see huge advancements in the field of AI, but little in the field of energy, for example. This has a huge cost. We can't use the full potential of an advancement without a compelling advancement in another field. For example, as the use of AI is rising, the need for data storage and energy consumption is also rising exponentially. Apparently, for an innovation in a multi-sector to happen, people of different specialties need to team up and work together. There is a better approach to this, which is for an individual to have knowledge in more than one specialization. Luckily, this is increasing today, as in fintech, which is finance and technology, biotech, which is biology and technology, edtech, and so. Collaborations between these teams will induce the future sectors. In my case, I decided to tackle down the biggest challenge in AI advancement, which was data storage. How can we make it cheaper and more efficient? I started to think logically, and in the span of 2 months, I came up with a stupid approach. Since the human mind is capable of holding enormous amount of data, why not build a human farm? We can wire them up and have their brains as servers. Turned out, you can see here how it's specifically mentioned in a brain there is a cell, in a cell there is DNA, there is a nucleus, in the nucleus there is DNA, and in DNA is genes where adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine is present, where data is preserved. As of 2024, there are 150 zettabytes of data, which can be stored in 65 kilograms of DNA. The challenge in this is that DNA writing is slow and expensive, and to commercialize it, there needs to be a very faster and cheaper way of doing it. And here, on the next couple of months, I came up with another logical way of writing the data and the genes. In our digital world, we use Wi-Fi to send and receive data. I said to myself, why not invent a molecular level Wi-Fi to send data to the DNA itself? Upon researching the topic, I found out a concept in biochemistry, which is cellular signaling. This can be engineered in a specific way to send and receive data, which hypothetically can be 100,000 times faster and cheaper than current approach. The thing is, it has to be in a living environment, which tends to be very noisy and difficult, unlike current approach, where it's done in a non-living and a dry environment. This is my story, and I will be writing on research on commercializing the use of DNA writing. Thank you, and please ask me any questions if you have.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Hisham. This is a kind of like a wonderful topic, kind of like a great presentation. We have some time for questions and feedback for Hisham. So anyone, if you'd like to either kind of like unmute and say your question or write it in chat, and I will relay the question to Hisham. So I think if I can have a question that I can start with while everyone else is writing their questions, which is it's a very interesting concept of this idea of kind of like manipulating kind of like the cells kind of like for them to be able to have this type of communication method with the outside world. You made the analogy that it would be similar to Wi-Fi, but is that actually like within reach, let's say in the near future, or is it just an analogy and the communication is maybe going to be in a simpler way, that it's maybe communicating through kind of like something that is more rudimentary, more simple than, let's say, Wi-Fi signals that are actually, let's say, can be received by laptops or things of that sort. So can you tell us more about that, especially for those of us who are more kind of like outside of kind of like biology?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Professor Faisal, on this question. To answer that, I first begin to say that today it's like approachable since CRISPR is currently being used. We can, for example, modify and engineer the sending and receiving of the data between the cells using CRISPR. So, for example, we can say that adenine is 1 in binary, while guanine is 1,0, while cytosine is 1,1, for example, and so. And then we can modify the structure of cellular signaling so that which can be stimulated by protein or temperature increments. So we can say for 1 Fahrenheit degree increment, you send 1 diamond, and you can have this done in parallel. So this can be exponentially very big and spreadable to all kind of cells in the colony.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's very interesting. I've heard before about kind of like the way the opportunities and kind of like storage when we think about DNA, and yeah, it never occurred to my mind that kind of like communication is a big part of it. But that I think makes sense, and it looks like a very interesting opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of like the progress that you're making in this project. But I think for now we have also, let's say, maybe a question in chat, which is, could you briefly explain DNA writing? I think that's a very good question. If you can give us like a quick kind of like couple of minutes of overview of what it is and maybe where, kind of like what are the methods that can be used to do that?
Okay, so basically DNA writing is the process of writing data in the cells itself. So you might have heard today that you can edit the genes of your, let's say, future newborns. This is done through DNA writing. Nowadays, scientists use this method of DNA writing. They synthesize the DNA strands in order to make it bigger, and then they write data on it in a non-living and dry environment so that this data can be accurately read by them. So simply answering your question, DNA writing is sending the data to the DNA.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is great. So, for example, kind of like in a way, but is this process only applicable, let's say, kind of like when we think about a cell, do we think that it could only be applied, let's say, before the cell, let's say, formation or growth, or can we also do DNA writing on a cell that already kind of like in a way exists before, let's say, it's replicated?
I think I'm not very sure of this, but I think DNA can be edited today, but it's very hard and expensive to do in a living environment because it's a noisy environment. So they do it in laboratories where the DNA is stored and dried, which makes it very, very much easier for them to edit it and synthesize it even further.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is really great. It's definitely some reading that I'm going to be doing after our open mic today. And as you might be seeing in chat, kind of like we're getting some encouraging message kind of like that this is really cool. I totally agree with this and good luck with it. So yeah, thank you so much, Hisham. Thank you for kind of like the kind of like the good start that you gave us for the open mic. And I'm looking
Thank you so
forward
much.
to seeing your future work.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. All right, we are ready to move on to the next presenter. So let's see, the next presenter here is going to be Sayed. So Sayed, if you want, you can share your screen if you have something to share. If not, you can unmute and tell us about your work.
Okay, so hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank Professor Nawab for this opportunity. I am Syed Mohammad Amar and I am from Karachi, Pakistan. And I am studying in software engineering and I am in the final semester of my undergrad degree. So before I start, I would want to ask a simple question to all of the people here that did you had your breakfast today? So I guess the answer probably for all of us is yes.
I'm probably the
But
exception. Maybe it's because a little bit early here. I know that I'll have breakfast.
right, right. But what if I ask that how would you feel if you came to know that the resources that made your breakfast possible are compromised, or the soil or crops that are used in your breakfast are mismanaged? How would that affect you? But not only you, but also others around the world. So, so this is something that we came across and we tried to solve it with software engineering. It is our project and we are currently working on it. So, so what we are trying to do is that we are trying to solve the challenges that are in agriculture with the use of technology. Now, there are some uh, factors that can tell why agriculture sector is important. Here it is listed for Pakistan only, but the situation is same overall in the world as well. For Pakistan, it is accountable for 24% of the GDP, and it is increasing in revenue each year. And this is a significant contribution to our economy. But despite this, we know that this sector face challenges are significant challenges. We all are basically aware that traditional farming relies heavily on guesswork and estimations, and farmers face difficulties in optimizing the use of water, fertilizers, and other resources due to the lack of precise data. This absence of data on soil factors such as moisture, pH levels, and nutrient contents make it harder for farmers to make informed decisions. So I think that there is a critical need for solutions that provide real-time, data-driven insights to help farmers make informed decisions to optimize resources and improve their crop health. Now, all of these challenges that I have just discussed aren't isolated issues. They have all have huge impact in the agriculture sector. Like reliance on the guesswork leads to lower crop yields and directly affects the income of l- farmers at large scale. And it also can contribute to food insecurity in some regions. And excessive use of fertilizers can cause soil depletion and can also cause water pollution, which in long term decreases the land's productivity. So for these issues, we are working on the product that is AgriSense. So this product is basically providing real-time data-driven insights to the farmer, and it would also help farmers to make informed decisions by watching what their soil contains currently. Like we would have some parameters about the health of soil, such as pH levels, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and conductivity, water level. These are some things that tells us about the health of plant. So we would be first of all telling farmers that what are the current levels that are in his soil and what are the optimal level that are required for the certain crop that he's trying to grow. So this is something that he would be shown. And after that, what we would do is that we would show that to his mobile or maybe another dashboard. And once now I would tell that how this all system would work. So first of all, we would have the sensor, the device in the farm, and in the device we have a setup of sensor, and we have connected ESP32 module to the sensor. The sensor takes all this information from the soil and then sends it to the database. Now, in some parts of the world, the farms are usually isolated. So for that, we are using LoRaWAN technology that is long range, and it is used to transfer data from one point to another. So currently, we have set up and we have achieved a range of 0.5 kilometers, but that can be increased if we invest in some different uh, meter. And once we have the data, we have applied some machine learning models like reinforcement learning to first of all tell what is the best crop for that soil. And currently we have tested the sensor in diverse conditions, and so far we have been able to get very great results. So now this is something that we have done. Now what we will be doing is that we would be taking in consideration multiple factors such as rain, or maybe the temperature in upcoming days, and we would be uh, telling the farmer actually what he has to do in upcoming days. Let's suppose there is a rain predicted in 5 days, so we would tell him that he should not water his plants now because in 1 week there is a rain. So this is the type of advices that we are going to give to the farmer. So our project is also uh, aligning with multiple SDGs. So so yeah, this is something that we are working on, and I would want to show that how our things currently look like. So this is this is the first node. This is our NPK 7-in-1 sensor. So it senses all the 7 parameters that I
So
discussed.
by the way, maybe just to interrupt you for a little bit, it might be that you're not sharing the whole screen, you're only sharing the
Oh,
slides. Maybe
okay, sorry.
if you turn it off, turn it on again on the window that you want us to see, we can see it.
Yeah, just a moment.
Yeah, take your time.
So yeah, can you see the picture of sensors and
Perfect.
device?
Yes. Perfect. Yeah, we
Yeah,
see it now.
so on the left is the device. This is called NPK 7-in-1 sensor, and it senses all the parameters that I have just told. And the device is the first node of our product. So this would be placed in the farm, and this is the second node. Sorry, this one. So this would be located in somewhere else, maybe at the home of farmer or somewhere where internet is available. So from here we would be getting real-time data from the soil, and using this we would be sending it to the cloud database. And currently, okay, so currently our app is in the development stage. uh, in this way the farmer can see that what are current values. And obviously in Pakistan and other part of the world, uh, there are multiple languages, and farmers might not be comfortable in English or another global language. So we are also trying to add as many as regional languages as possible. So this is one of the regional language that would help farmer to know that what crop is best for him. So this was one of the result. This screen tells the farmer that rice is the best crop that he can grow. So yeah, that's something that I have been working on.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for the great presentation and the wonderful work. I think I also commend your choice of application here. As you mentioned, agriculture is a globally important problem. Technology can be very helpful for that. I think we are, I see that there is some questions coming in chat, but I'm going to start with my question and then to give time for everyone to also write their questions in chat. So my question to you is, I see that kind of like you've integrated a device, like kind of like built in a way kind of like the connections to the sensors. Can you tell us a little bit about whether these sensors are in a way accurate, whether they are sometimes if like maybe can give some different readings or maybe not so accurate readings. Is that something that can happen? And if it can happen, is that something that maybe we can fix or mitigate by the software side when we're doing the readings?
Yeah, actually, this is something that we were also considering while building this thing. So the thing is that the sensor that we have used, so I would answer it in a different perspective. So we are also trying to develop this device in a very economical way, right? So we are trying to keep prices as low as possible. So the sensor that currently we are using is a little bit cheaper. So there are possibilities of error, but if we like try to sell it in global markets, we would definitely upgrade our sensors that would give us better results. So currently there are issues in the sensors, and currently we have planned to like optimize it using the software side or programming.
I see. Okay, that's wonderful, and I think it's definitely seems to be an interesting problem to solve as well, because this issue of errors in sensor readings from kind of like real world hardware is a common one in a lot of applications and would be an interesting one to tackle. I see that also some praise that everyone is sharing in chat and some encouragement. So yeah, thank you all for doing that. Yeah, please encourage your colleagues in our group, and I think that would definitely be helpful for everyone. Also, one thing that I also wanted to point out is that as you all are hearing about these cool projects, some of these projects could be opportunities for you to do something, maybe building on them or kind of like in a way complementing them by solving maybe some challenges that they might be facing. I'm sure that everyone who's presenting today would be happy to collaborate, maybe kind of like provide some help and projects for the other members of our group. So please feel free to, in a way, kind of like reach out, kind of like provide ideas, feedback, even ask for help if you want, if you're still thinking about a problem that you want to tackle, to start doing a research project. Doing something based on your colleagues here might be a good idea so that you can have a support system as well. So with this, yes, thank you so much, Sayed, for your wonderful presentation. Now we're going to go to the next one. So let's see, the next presenter here in our list is Ariba. So yeah, go ahead, Ariba.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, just a second. I hope my screen is also visible. Hello, everyone. I am Ariba Abid, a BSC's fourth semester student and also regular participant in international hackathons. Today, one of the projects which I'm going to present with you is also something I made in one of my hackathons, and I'm going to share it with you. So let's see here. Okay, so the project is basically related to is basically an AI surgical assistant, an AI-powered tool designed to revolutionize the surgical field by providing real-time assistance to surgeons. Let me first discuss the growing challenges in surgery. As we all know that surgeons play a vital role in healthcare, performing life-saving procedures and advancing medical science. However, they face numerous challenges that impact both surgical precision and patient safety. Over 50% of adverse surgical events are due to human errors. Surgery-related mistakes alone account for 35% of medical errors, leading to an estimated around $17 billion in costs annually, according to Baylor College of Medicine. Secondly, I would like to mention here about the mental strain and burnout. The higher pressure environment often leads to stress and fatigue, impairing decision-making for the surgeons and doctors. And for diagnostic overlaps, there are errors in diagnostics which contribute to around 371,000 deaths and 424,000 permanent disabilities each year in the US alone. And there's also need to for a solution in this field. And that's why I and my team came up with the idea of the AI surgical assistant. Our team provides surgeons with real-time assistance, ensuring accurate decisions and during critical procedures. We have divided our project into 3 phases, basically. The first phase is the pre-surgery preparation. The AI analyzes prescriptions, test results, and scans uploaded by the doctors and the medical team, generating detailed pre-surgery reports to prepare the team. For example, maybe the equipments they need to be prepared for, the things they need to know before the surgery starts and stuff like that. And the main phase includes the real-time assistance during the surgery, which is for me the coolest part, because it involves voice-activated AI agents, which provide instant guidance, helping surgeons make precise decisions. Like in that, if the surgeons like use words like I have a question and they ask the questions to the assistant, then the AI answers accordingly. Any question related to the surgery, any medical question or anything. And the third phase is basically the post-surgery insights. The system collects data from the whole procedure of the surgery, whatever happened, and it creates a recovery report and the aftercare recommendations, like the medications the patient needs to take care of, the things they need to know, the things maybe the doctors need to know and the patient needs to know as well. So yes, that's a little short about that. And the impact this, I think the AI surgical assistant creates is that it reduces surgical errors by providing real-time AI guidance and enhances decision-making by offering instant data-driven insights. It also supports surgeons' well-being, reducing stress and mental fatigue, as I mentioned, is a major challenge for surgeons. It improves patient recovery with personalized aftercare recommendations. So this project isn't just about technology, it's about saving lives and improving healthcare through AI-driven innovation. And yes, some of the key technologies included in this project would be LangChain, Creo AI, and RAG, mainly which we have worked on. And yes, just a minute. Now I'd like to show you a little demo of the project itself. It's basically the video recording of the project. This is basically how the simple, you can say the UI of the project looks like. This is the page where the pre-surgery report goes. Some information about the patient, some history of the patient. And yes, uploading all the prescriptions, lab reports, scans, and documents like that from your device, and yeah, whatever is available with the doctors about the patient. In the back end, some work goes on about the reports. And yes, this is the main part during surgery voice chat. When we're done uploading the pre-surgery report, it asks the surgeons or anything. The surgeons just need to, use phrases like, I have a question, and it is activated, and then you can ask the question in audio only. The question here asked is, what steps should one follow if the appendix ruptures during the procedure? And in backend again, it needs to do some work to answer that question. And it would reply in an audio as well. To close the session, you just use words like that's it. And yes, for the post-surgery one, it's actually still under some work right now. We need to do some work on it. So yeah, this is a little about the project. We're still working on it. If you have any questions, then you may ask, please.
That's wonderful. A very cool project. And I think now we can have some questions if anyone would like to share. Either unmute yourself or share it in chat. Well, giving everyone some chance to write their questions. One question that I have from my side, you mentioned that you've in a way taking your project and you've participated in a competition with it before. I hope that I didn't in a way kind of like mishear. But can you tell us a little bit about kind of like your experience in using your project to participate in a competition? And I think the reason why I want to ask this question, which is maybe different than our typical questions, is that it's useful for everyone to also hear about such experiences and reflect on them.
Okay. Are you trying to ask that how did I make it in the competition itself, or how did I take it to the competition? Like, sorry, I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah. So in general, kind of like in a way, your experience in the competition. So for example, kind of like how did you come up with the idea? Kind of like in a way, how did you, in a way, present it in the competition? Any kind of like useful tips for, in a way, our group members here to take it if they want to share their work in competitions.
Yeah, sure. It was basically a 48 hours hackathon, I guess, if I correctly remember. It was actually in September, October, so I don't accurately remember that. It was, I guess, 2 to 3 days hackathon. It was organized by the LabLab.ai team, and we came up with the idea like 1 or 2 weeks before the hackathon started. My team and I started working on the idea with that. We had a couple of ideas with us, but we decided to go with this one because we did some research on the kind of market gaps and the things which are required. The hackathon was specifically about AI agents. The name of the hackathon was AI Agents Hack. So we had to use the concept of AI agents to build up something. So we came up with this idea. One of the ideas my team member gave was this to work on something medical related. So yeah, it was built during the time itself. We did not have had it pre-built and then we took it to the hackathon. We made it in the time itself, you can say. Not really in the time because it was the 2 day competition. We started building like a week earlier. But yeah, and for this audience here, if they need some tips for such competitions and all I would say is that if you participate in such competitions, then you can do some of your research on, you can say like seeing the previous competitions or hackathons that have been ended and seeing what kind of projects students have made there, taking idea from there, and maybe identifying a market gap or something that you think would be a cool idea, and just gathering some team members in your field to make that, I guess. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I think these are very good tips. I think especially I want to emphasize the last one. One of the things or part of why we want to do these events and activities and also have our a common like mailing list and programs is that we want to encourage all of you to work together and get ideas from each other, even if not collaborating with the same projects. It is sometimes useful to get hints, like in a way, in seeing the other members' successes, the things that they've done. And of course, I'm sure that everyone is happy to share their knowledge with everyone. So yeah, thank you so much, Ariba, for the wonderful presentation. And of course, yeah, and also thank you for all of you who expressed in a way kind of like your good feelings and wishes for Ariba's project. All right, so I think now
Thank
we are
you.
moving to the last presentation, which is going to be by Ahmed Reza. So yeah, if you don't mind, either unmute yourself or share your screen if you have a set of slides.
Am I audible now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. My name is Ahmed Raza, and I am a software engineering fourth semester student from Sialkot. And I am also a regular participant of international hackathons. This project was one of my hackathon latest project, and its name is Skill Bridge. So let's move on. So this is the content, like the flow I kept on. So introduction is, in this hackathon, I basically used a Gamma LLM, large language model for the generation of the images as well as for the tags. It is a pre-built Gamma model I used. As Ma'am Ariba said, the hackathon time was like little small, 2 to 3 days. So building a LLM from the scratch wasn't expected from us. So we have to use like Gamma or anything model like expected. Okay, so I designed this project for the freshers who are recently graduated or applying for the jobs, because they don't know why they are getting rejected by the HRs or the executives to whom they are getting reviewed for the interviews. And the background of this project is how and why they are getting rejected and how they can improve. These two are the main things that I mentioned in this presentation. So the problem freshers might be facing, number one is when we are getting graduated and we are going to apply for the interviews, like HRs and executive takes our interview and they just said, well, sorry, you are rejected. They don't tell us like why they're rejecting us and what were the problems in our resumes, in our personality, or in our body language or interview that we are getting rejected. This is the first thing that I think is a main problem for the freshers. And second thing is guidance. Like if I'm graduated, I don't have a guidance that how can I present, how my resume should be according to the professionalism or according to the industry, and what should be the skills mentioned in my resume for getting chances of hiring by the employees. So the second thing is guidance. And the third thing is samples. Why I'm saying samples? Listen, if I search on the internet, I can have samples of different mock interviews present, but the HRs or the executives might ask questions related to the resume of the person who is giving interview. Okay, so I had not any sample which shows mock interviews according to my resume, according to my skills, according to my like technologies mentioned in my resume, mock interview questions according to my projects. So this is also a main problem that freshers might be facing, that they don't have samples of the mock interviews that HRs or executives might ask from him or her in the interview. So this is the skill bridge which me and my team built in one of the hackathons. Recently, I participated internationally. And the first feature of this is analysis. If I had a resume, I should know what can be the extensions and what can be the segments I should have mentioned on my resume, and what things should I remove from the resume as that. The second thing is mock interviews. If I have mentioned some skills, I have mentioned some projects, I should know what the HR or executive on the a company behalf might ask from me. If I have a front-end skill mentioned on my resume, what specific mock interview questions the HR can ask from me. And the third one is career path suggestions. If I'm a beginner level front-end developer, I should have a roadmap to become a professional developer. No one will give you advices. No one will give you like a guidance for that. So this is the also problem, and I presented that problem in this project skill page. So the basic workflow is you just have to upload your resume in the website, and Gamma will analyze your resume. And now the fourth features are present. You just have to click on any of the project, any of the feature. Like if you want to get mock interview samples according to your resume, you can get that. If you want to get career path suggestions based on your resume, you can get that as well. And if you want to get analysis of a resume, that's available also. And the tech stack I used here was React.js for the front end, and Node.js for the back end, and the AI model or the LLM might be say was a Gamma 2. And this is the paradigm, and the project we were a team. So these were the members of our team, and thank you so much. If
That's
anyone
wonderful.
has a question, might be asked.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your work and presentation with us. That is certainly a very important topic for a lot of students as they near graduation. And here, let's see. So I think it looks like we have some questions in chat. So we have a comment and a question. This is a great idea. One thing though, these days ChatGPT is there and it can give you personalized feedback, and there are even specific GPTs that you can chat with on this topic. Why would a fresher navigate to SkillBridge instead? Yeah, so I think it's a good question. So,
Yeah.
with this question
Yes,
between
there's
a general purpose LLM or SkillBridge.
Yes. So if we talk about GPT has this version as a paid version. Like I can upload 2 to 3 files only. That's a paid version. I can't upload more than 2 to 3 files. So our app giving you opportunity to upload as many as you can. Like if you want to upload your resume now, you can make changes. You can upload it as well tomorrow, as well as next day, and next day. Unless until you want to upload resume, you can upload as many as possible. But the GPT has some restrictions that you can do this in this limit, not more than this, and just like that. So there's a decision of the payment on the GPT.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I also can imagine that in addition to, in a way, the payment structure is that I think of like whenever there is like more specialization, there is opportunity to build things around it, kind of like build things that are more specific to the user. So it looks like it's a lot of very nice opportunities with this solution. So yeah, I wish you luck with it. Thank you again for sharing your presentation with us. And yeah, so it looks like there is also some mentions of GPTs like that are specialized. I think these are also would be wonderful to kind of like in a way look at also as well more closely. So maybe for those was the cost issue is really the main differentiator. But yeah, thank you again. And I think now this gets us to the conclusion of our open mic event. I'm glad to see that in fact we ended right on the hour, so that hopefully we don't delay a lot of you late at night. But thank you again for both the presenters who presented their wonderful work and progress with us. I'm looking forward to hearing more about your projects, hopefully in future open mic events or showcases, and definitely be sure to share your progress with everyone here. And also thank you for the participants who joined and shared their questions and encouragement with everyone. I know that also that we have a number of other members of our groups who were wanting to attend but couldn't and would love to see the recording of this. So just another reminder, if you want us to remove your part of your presentation from the recording, we will share with everyone. Just let us know via email. I'm gonna wait maybe for a day or so, and then I'm going to share it with everyone else. So yeah, thank you all. It's great to see you all, and hopefully we'll see you very soon in a future event. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye bye.